Greetings. I'm Brian Morris, a part of Team Trilogy. Today we're going to compare the Westside King to the Latitude 64 Ballista. So these are 14 speeds and they both have a lot of turn to them. The King we have in the VIP plastic, and it comes in as a speed 14, glide 5, turn of -1.5, and a fade of 3. We're going to be comparing it to the Gold Ballista, and we also have the Opto Ballista. The Opto is in a 168, the Gold is in a 170, and both of the Kings are in the 170 department. So pretty close on the weights. The Ballista comes in at a speed 14, glide 5, -1 turn instead of a 1.5 with a fade of 3. So let's check out these discs and see maybe which ones might work for you. How do they compare? How do they review? Check it out. Here we have a look at the VIP King from Westside Discs. It is a speed 14, so it has a fairly wide rim, so not probably very good for smaller hands, as does the Ballista. So this is the Ballista, not the Ballista Pro. The rim is probably the same width for both of these. And we're going to take a look at how they fly. As always, we're going to kick things off with kind of some lobbing Hyzer shots. Get warmed up on the first round. We're going King first here, and you can see right away that -1.5 on a Hyzer release. You can see that little bit of turn in the disc pretty consistently here. You also can see that fade coming back at the very end. And here we're going to go with the Opto Ballista. And it's a turn of -1, and you can see it there as it turns pretty good. And this is the Gold Ballista. And I'm going to tell you right now that the Gold Ballista behaved more stable than the Opto Ballista. Very similar to how a Fusion Trespass is a little bit more stable than a Lucid Trespass. All right, here we're going to throw some Anheuser's. We're always going to throw the Kings first. This is kind of a slight headwind. And those Kings, they got over. And once they started going over, they just kept on going over. Up next, I'm going to throw that Gold or Gold Line Ballista. And you'll see it gets over really nice Anheuser. And it actually comes all the way back, fades out. You can see that little bit more stability. And I tried to throw the Opto Ballista the same way, and it got over and just kept on going over to the right. And you'll see the spread here. The Opto Ballista was with the VIP Kings, and the Gold Ballista was over by the basket. Here we're going to throw some Hyzer shots, just whipping it out there, trying to get to a basket that's around the corner here. You can see there is a slight right to left wind on that flag. So again, just Hyzer releasing it and trying to get around the corner here. And it turned into, let me Hyzer release it and try to get it to go straight. And you can see that if you get on it, the more you get on it, the more it's going to straighten, the more it's going to turn. These are, understable distance drivers. And you need a little bit of touch with them. They may be beneficial to someone with a slower arm speed. Here you see the spread here. That basket was at 330 feet, and I wasn't really trying to go hard, but, you know, trying to get it out there. Here we're going to go distance, gulp, and we're going to go king first. We have a slight tailwind from this angle, maybe a little bit of left to right. So you can see the king getting it out there, getting it over. Kind of a nice flight on that tailwind. Very easy to get over. Got that one out there 411 feet. Here's our second VIP king. And you can see it's a Hyzer release. I'm not flipping it over out of the hands, and it's flipping up. And it's doing its thing, getting out there to 404 feet. Now here we have the Ballista, which just seemed to just fly forever, and it wasn't even up in the air very high. Got out there to 429 feet. It was the best shot of the bunch. And here's the gold line, or gold Ballista. And I got that one way up in the air, and I think the tailwind really smushed this one down as it didn't quite get as far as the other ones at 395. They all got a good bit of distance pretty easily. Here you see the spread. That's the gold one, the closest one. And the closest one to the basket's going to be the Ballista, and both kings were off here to the left. Now we're going to check out a little bit of forehand. I'm not a forehand master by any stretch, but you can check out some of those flight characteristics from the toss. For instance, these kings, they can take the flick, and you can see them, they like to flip up and almost flip to the left a little bit and fade back. And you can see there's a little bit of more stability in the Ballista, although the Ballista, the Ballista behaved very similar to the king. I would say it's slightly more stable. And then the gold Ballista definitely had more stability, and I could definitely tell when I forehanded it as it hooked up and flexed out a lot sooner. Here you see the spread there. That was the gold. That's the the short king, and there's one long king that just absolutely crushed it. Full flex shot, probably a little over 300 feet, which is pretty good for me. I'm like a 260-foot flick guy. All right, now we're just going to go all out juice here with all the discs. There's a tree that's about 400 feet away. Just trying to throw it with a hyzer and straighten it. First king wasn't that good, but this one was an absolute demonstration of what the king can do on kind of a slight tailwind. And it got way out there. I didn't measure it, but it got really good distance. The problem with these discs for me is that you have to get your angles perfect, or they could go all over the place. They could flip to the right really easily. They could hyzer out. This was going to be a bomber, and it hit the tree and kicked down. Here you see a spread. That first one was kind of the early release, not very good toss. And then the Ballista and the king on that full flight way up in here. Definitely an interesting set of discs. I can't really bag them because with my arm speed, they become a little bit inaccurate, especially into a headwind. I would say that gold Ballista is the most stable in that picture, and then the and then the least stable would be the kings. Definitely something to check out for a slower arm speed, looking for that first long-range distance driver. That's it for now. We'll see you on the next one.